The next thing when it comes to direct marketing is creating a personalised message. Now, one message doesn't resonate with everybody. So, for example, I was working with a health and safety training company, and they actually wanted to target the managing director and the person that was in charge of health and safety within that company. Now, the same message can overlap, but the thing is, the message for the managing director was how much health and safety training impacts the well-being of the staff, and it's a legal requirement. Whereas the message for the health and safety manager was, rather than seeing as a threat, it should focus on the training and the support that they can give that role. So therefore, it gives that support and role to the health and safety manager, rather than seeing it as a threat to the health and safety manager. Now, the thing is, what it does, it means that you're actually talking to that person, you're resonating, you're creating a message that resonates and connects with that particular person. So that's the reason why you actually want to do a personalized message, because you're sending it to an individual rather than speaking to the whole crowd. And again, you can look at your past, you can get insights from your past purchases. You can then look at your demographics of your clients. And I would always say create a personal message for each of your segmentation of your database that you're actually doing, and create a separate message for each of them. Not each, I'm talking about each. So therefore, if it's managing directors, it's the same message for the managing directors, like in the previous example, and the same messages for the health and safety. But you're actually making sure that you're resonating with that person. And again, this is where AI can actually help. You can actually ask it, again, using the information that you've actually provided. So it's using your buyer persona, it's using the company information, and using your offer. And I would like to create a letter that captures the reader's information. So the buyer persona is with regards to the individual person that you actually want to speak to. And again, the copywriting frame that I use for letters is Ada. And again, I always like to use experts who are actually in the field of direct marketing. And this is when I turn around and use the copywriting style of Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy is a fantastic direct marketing expert or guru that you can actually then tap into and get their insights. But using AI, you can actually make sure that you can actually use their insight. Now, again, if you've actually got another favourite copywriter, Joseph Sugarman or Donald Miller, for example, or again, Brian Tracy, these are great people that you can actually tap into and see what the difference in style is when it comes to AI. And as I say, I love playing around with it to make sure that it comes up with the tailored message that I want for my clients and that resonates with me. So I don't just use it verbatim, but I do actually play around with it to make sure that you've also got that it fits in with your style and your professional tone or your tone of voice, etc. So with your direct mailing, you can actually be creative with your designs. And I went onto the internet, looked at a few creative designs, and yeah, that's on the next slide. So it will actually be, I'll give you some examples. But yeah, it can be imaginative. You can have fun with it. It can be eye-catching. It can be different, but make it memorable. And again, make sure that you actually have a call to action. So that could be a promotion code or a WhatsApp code, a QR code that links to a WhatsApp, so you can then follow and continue the conversation. So a strong call to action is a definite. So make sure that your design is creative. So let's have a look at a few designs that I came up with, that I have not come up with, that I've actually had a look on the internet. Now, I love the Kit Kat one because it does look like a direct mailing a Royal Mail, sorry, we couldn't deliver. And again, I love the fact that it says packet and it's too crunchy for your letterbox. Wow, fantastic. And again, if you actually have a look at the car one, the car envelope, great. It's showing the kit that it's a soft top that you can actually take the top off of your car to actually then show that it's a hard top or soft top. And again, I go back to the funeral, the printers with the funeral. He wanted to actually speak to the funeral directors to promote the fact that he could actually do order of services for clients. So therefore, what he did is he actually got some black envelopes and created a typeface that was then done in gold. So therefore, it looked very professional and unique for the funeral directors. But what it did, it stood out because it's black, but it was in keeping because it was black because of the funeral director. So that's where you can actually have a bit of fun as with direct mailing. And you know what, it's going to be more memorable if you've got something there that, like the Kit Kat one, makes you laugh, or again, funeral directors is applicable because it resonates with you as a funeral director. So the next one is multiple channels. Don't just use one channel. Don't just use a direct mailing campaign and then go, that's it. Always make sure that you follow up. Now, if you've got a business-to-business database, you can follow up with a telephone call. You can follow up with an email. You can also follow up with social media. Or again, make sure that you've got your QR code. Make sure that you don't miss anybody that comes onto your website. Have a chat box or have a clear call to action that turns around and says, right, okay, download this free ebook or lead magnet, so that you can then ensure that you capture further information and follow up. It just reinforces that message and increases your response rates. Again, for example, I'll give you an example. I was actually working with a care home, and they were turning around and doing direct mailing campaigns to actually promote their care home. What they did is that they targeted people that were over 50, and again, they turned around and put then a QR code for people to actually respond to. And it then brought up a WhatsApp so that they could then continue that conversation. And again, it allowed them to capture the information with more information, such as their mobile number, which they may not have actually had. So yeah, there's a great example of having a way of following up with your clients. Always measure your success. Make sure that you do actually check the people that are going on to using your QR codes. Make sure that or if you've actually got a personal landing page, then you do actually measure the promotion codes that are actually on there. Reason being is that you want to know the return on investment that you've got. You also need to be able to track it to be able to then make sure that your campaign is actually working. Again, I was actually working with another, excuse me, I was actually working with another care home, and they turned around to me and says, well, we do direct mailing and also we do radio advertisement and we do a little bit of television advertisement in the Yorkshire area. And I says, well, which is working best for you? And they says, I don't know, we just have got the same telephone number and people phone up. And I said, well, do you know whether the radio's working? Do you know whether the direct mailing's working? Do you know whether the telephone's working? And they didn't actually know. So I do stress that it is really important to have a different telephone number for if you're doing telephone or radio, from radio to direct mail. So therefore, you then can actually capture the full information, and you can actually track the success of your campaign, because at the end of the day, you want to know how successful your campaign has actually been. So the key takeaway parts is embrace your creativity with direct mailing. It's constantly evolving, and it allows you to stay ahead. If you do actually stay ahead, it allows you to be create different designs, different formats. So experiment with it and be creative. Don't be afraid to try something new. It's about testing and measuring. A lot of marketing is about testing and measuring. Start off small, 50 records or 100 records of your existing customers. Test and measure to make sure that you do actually resonate with the right message, and again with the right designs. Get feedback from your existing clients or people that have actually made an inquiry. Ask them. At the end of the day, they can turn around and give you their feedback to make sure that your results are better. And yeah, my advice is get creative with your direct mailing, and it can be a really good format to stand out from the crowd. So that's me, Data Bubble. As I always say, all good marketing starts with a great data. So if you do actually need any help with data cleaning, or again, any data lists, by all means, use the link that's actually in the message box. Book an appointment with me. Let's have a chat, and I'll open up the floor now for any questions. So I do see that it's... So yeah, perfect. Somebody turned around and says, the slides are great. Will you get a copy of them? Yeah, of course, John. Yeah, not a problem. I can also send you a copy of the slides. And if you also want, I can also send you details with regards to the prompts that you actually want, because it gives you just that little bit of information with regards to the prompts as well. Another question that I often get asked is, what's the average response rate for a direct mailing campaign? Now, with regards to the Direct Marketing Association, they turn around and say it's between 3 and 4%. So I will be honest with you, if you're selling something that's £1, then it's going to be quite expensive to do, because when you actually factor in the postage, as well as then the print, as well as then the direct mailing, then yeah, it's actually going to be quite a costly expense. However, if you're selling something that's £500 or £1,000, or you're selling coaching that's £2,000 per month, then a direct mailing campaign can really resonate with your ideal clients. And if you actually get a 3 or 4% 3 or 4% conversion rate, then it can be really beneficial. And again, I'm honest with people. I'll turn around to them and say, right, okay, how much is your ideal client? How much is it worth? And what's the lifetime value? If that lifetime value is a one-off £1, then they'll turn around and say, don't do direct mailing. But if that lifetime client is worth £1,000 or £10,000, then yeah, direct mailing can actually work. So yeah, that's one of the questions that I do get asked quite often. So I'll open up the floor. Any more questions? No? No problem, that's fine. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. There will be a recording that comes out, as well as then I will actually send the slides, as well as then a copy of the posts that of the prompts that I actually use. So if there's no more questions, then brilliant. Yeah, somebody said stunning at silence. Thanks, John. I hope it's been stunning. Brilliant.